Hi, my name is Sri Charan. I'm the writer, director, producer, and executive producer of Half and Half.
And what is the film about?
It is about a homeless person going through a transformational journey and making an unlikely friendship with a woman from a broken marriage. And together they try to win $1 million in at a grocery store sweepstake.
So where did the inspiration for the sweet story come from?
Well, I mean, so I, I'm I've been on a spiritual journey for quite a few years now, and since then everything I write, I'm obsessed with spinning, giving it a spiritual spin. But the inspiration itself was very straightforward and bland, so to speak. I was at a grocery store and I was actually playing a game like this, and all you need to claim your prize of $1 million is to have the coupon. And my mind was thinking, what if a homeless man finds that coupon, right? Like, what if somebody just tosses it away, not knowing that it's actually the winning coupon, and finds it? And then I came home, and that story just kept, it didn't let me sleep. I was like, okay, I gotta write this now. If I don't write, the story is not gonna let me sleep. That's basically what was happening that night. So I stayed up that entire night, and I was so lazy to even get up and go to my laptop. So I just wrote the entire thing in my phone. So that's how Half and Half happened.
What app did you use? Did you use like Evernote or did you use the note taking app that came with the phone?
Notes.
Wow.
I just wrote it all in my notes. But what helped with it, though, it had no dialogue, and it just naturally happened. So I didn't actually plan to make a silent film or anything like that. So when I wrote the entire thing and it was done, I just noticed that there was no dialogue and there was no need for it. So
Tell me about the dialogue because that's one of the interesting things, many interesting things I found out about the film is the dialogue is so natural. It's not like from a script or anything. So did your
yeah.
talent come up with the actors and actresses come up with the dialogue, or was it just this is what we're going to say, was on the fly type of deal?
Well, I mean, there is no dialogue in the film except for one portion.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
a very
I
small
mean,
portion.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, that one small portion. So
Yeah, yeah. That was a lot of it was ad lib, and I don't believe in playing a mood or making the actor play a mood or play an emotion or something like that. That's a very superficial a way of approaching the art of filmmaking. I think it's doing injustice to the depth of the art of acting there is. So what did, and luckily I had actors that were able to catch on to that process, is give them very subtle hints or backstory or whatever it is. On this on set, when I find that if a certain thing is not reaching its obligation, say the character obligation or emotional obligation, then I would just tell the character to dig a little deeper into to have a choice for his partner, right? So that thing helped a lot, and in the process, let's take for example the only portion that there is, that little portion where we hear people talking, that's the husband and the wife. Had to go to Arash and tell him to use a choice that will work for the scene, and luckily he was able to go to that space and imagine that person instead of Tamira, the lead actress. And that just did wonders. Until that point, we had a bit of a struggle there, but the moment that worked, you just saw him hitting on the steering wheel, just frustrated who this Mike is and all of that. That just happened naturally after that. It's kind of like that, you have to open the floodgates in the
right.
right way for it to flow. So yeah.
You know, like you said, there's no spoken dialogue, but I'm a big fan of silent films and I study silent films, and there is dialogue with the body movement and the facial features and
Oh,
everything. So was that really hard for your talent? Because we're so used to talkies, we're so used to shouting into the microphone and singing and everything
yeah.
like that. So was that hard for your talent to dial back, because you have a lot of up and coming young talent in this film?
100%. And everybody on the film pretty much is as indie as it can get. They're all doing a job on the side and hoping they're gonna, make this their full-time career. But very passionate people, though, and I was blessed to have such passionate people. And to go back to your question, I wish my actors were here today, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Um, you know,
We have you, and that's
schedule.
great.
Yeah, it was easy and hard both for them, is what I've noticed. It was hard because of the same aspect that you just touched upon, which is the novelty of it. It's not so novel, so to speak. I mean, we started with silent films. The whole film industry started with silent films. It's just we forgot the beauty of silence. And like you said, now it's so replete with words, words, words. And I'm the kind of person who gets tired of talking, and I have to, after this interview, I probably have to take 24 hours of rest to recoup. Right. So maybe it came naturally to me, but it didn't come. It's not natural at all, is what I started to notice when I was on set. So in that sense, it was hard because there was no reference, so to speak. But where it was easy, I think, was they didn't have to worry about that extra aspect of their being, which is having to say the words right, having to memorize lines, and making the line second nature, and all of that process was out the window. Now all they have to worry about is whether or not they're in the moment, really, and understanding what the backstory is and what the character is like, and what are their character obligations really for that particular scene. And I think it really helped a lot because they didn't have to underplay anything. They just have to really kind of tap into the essence of the scene. That's it. And they were able to bring it 100%, which I was very lucky with. So
Talk to me about your locations and sets, because a lot of it was familiar to me.
oh, have you been to Arlington?
Yes, I'm in Garland.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's funny. Yeah, it was all shot in Arlington. And yeah, there's a store called Indo Park Grocery Store. And we cheated so much because we shot it in 4 days. We shot a feature
Really?
in a shoestring budget, on a shoestring budget, in 4 days. It's crazy. Maybe if there's a record out there for making feature films. I know there's feature films they made in like 48 hours and 24 hours. So I won't be breaking a record here, but it's quite crazy. Yeah, and we cheated so much. Like that grocery store was huge, the area.
Right.
So literally, we were just running around choosing different parts of that grocery store, making it one look like a church and the other look like a grocery store, and this and that. It was just, yeah, it was just
So you
crazy.
literally filmed this in like a shopping center, and you didn't
Yeah.
leave the shopping center.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it goes to show that you don't have to go big, and you don't have to go expensive or elaborate, because the quality of this film, I mean, the editing is really good quality. And I'm shocked. 4 days, oy vey, it's like,
Well, it's
oy.
4 days of shoot, but for more than 4 months of post, and
Correct.
entire post was done in India. Um,
Why did
and
you choose to go to India for your post and not here in the States?
well, number one, budget. Number two, the amount of quality I can get for the budget I have is definitely in India. India is, I mean, haven for filmmaking. And
Right.
I just happened to be lucky enough to meet Uday, who is the editor of the film, and the music composer, Arun, and also Sachin, who is the, sound engineer and sound mixer. He has a full setup there that he does for every film, and we did a lot of post sound for this film, including footsteps and the car sound and the car interior and all of that. He had to recreate it because we didn't have the luxury of recording all of that on set um, due to various constraints. But I mean, the magic that Sachin did with sound in post, it's just incredible.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And even mixing, I mean, the final product is the video is 4K, and it's 5.1 mixed, so it's ready to actually be shown anywhere with that capability, and which is kind of the highest capability there is now, right? So yeah, I mean, even quality wise, they just delivered it. And they were also very patient with every, because it went on for months, the whole post process. So yeah, but I have to give a big shout out for my beautiful India team that just worked day and night pretty much to make this little film happen.
The
So
soundtrack, the sound of the film, the feel, the editing, it's top notch. It's 5 star, and I really hope everyone comes and sees it. Lastly, what did you learn about yourself professionally and personally? At the beginning of the interview, you told me you were on a spiritual journey, but what did you learn about yourself? I mean, you did this in 4 days. You went off to India and had this edited and fixed up out there. So what did you learn about yourself?
yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I didn't have to go to India. I did everything through Zoom calls.
There we go.
Yeah. What I learned is kind of what you touched upon, is you don't have to go big to make a big film, so to speak, right? And the content is king at the end of the day. And also, I'm starting to learn that I can't really take credit for most of it, if not all of it, because true stories I've started to recognize as something that you channel. They just come through you, and they don't come from you. There are egotistical projects that happen all the time, and where the filmmaker probably just uh, basks in the glory of having made a product that came from him and all that. But I think that's too much pressure and unnecessary. It looks nice in the beginning, but it's actually too much to carry on your shoulders to constantly put that image out there in the world that it is my product and this is how I did it and all of that. And this is a film I 100% know now that I've just channeled it. When that story came through me, I think that something, a higher power, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give it, made it come through me, because some of the aspects, when I look back at them today, they blow my own mind because of the depth there is to the story. And that's when you kind of have to, even if up until that point you think that, oh, this is something I did because I know filmmaking, or I'm cool, whatever. Then, but if you find certain aspects where they blow your own mind and make you think like, wow, actually I didn't even go for it, but now that's there too. That's where the true essence of filmmaking comes through, and that's the spiritual side of filmmaking, really. I mean, there's a higher power that wants you to tell these wonderful stories that make people think a little bit deeper about their own selves and their environment and their surroundings, and that's the beauty of this film. So
Again, one half and half. Congratulations on such a wonderful film. I hope everyone
thank you.
sees it because it's such a wonderful story, start to finish. And congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.